The corridor was dark. Not quiet, never quiet, but heavy, like the air itself did not want to move. The human walked slowly, boots crunching on broken metal and glass. The lights above him flickered, then died again. Smoke hung in thin lines, drifting like ghosts that had nowhere to go. This place had once been a shelter. Now it was a wound. He had seen many places like this. Burned cities, cracked ships, empty homes. War always left the same marks. It did not matter if the world was human or alien. Still, something felt different here. He checked his scanner. Life signs were weak. Very weak. "Anyone alive?" he said, his voice low, calm. He did not shout. Shouting scared people. No answer. He took another step. Something moved. Not fast. Not loud. Just a small shape at the far end of the hall. He stopped. The shape came closer, slowly stepping into the light from his helmet lamp. It was a child. An alien child. She was small, even for her kind. Thin arms wrapped around herself. Her skin was pale blue, marked with dark lines that looked like cracks in ice. Her eyes were too large for her face, shining with fear and something stronger. Anger. She stood between him and a broken doorway behind her. Her legs were shaking, but she did not run. The human lowered his weapon at once. He kept both hands open, empty, where she could see them. "It's okay," he said softly. "I'm not." Her voice cut through the air like a blade. "Are you here to hurt my mother too?" The words hit him harder than any explosion. He froze. For a moment, he forgot the war, forgot orders, forgot the alarm still echoing far outside the shelter. "Two?" That single word burned. He looked past her, through the broken doorway. Inside the small room, someone lay on the floor. An adult alien woman. Her body was still, except for a shallow rise and fall in her chest. Dark stains spread across the thin blanket under her. Blood. Not fresh, but not old enough to be safe. She was dying. The child stepped back half a step, blocking the doorway more. Her small hands curled into fists. "They came before," she said. Her voice trembled, but she did not stop. "They wore armor. Like you." The human swallowed. "We hid," the girl continued. "They found us anyway." She lifted her chin, forcing herself to look brave. "So, are you here to hurt her too?" The human did not answer right away. He knelt down slowly, making himself smaller, less threatening. "No," he said at last. One word. Simple. Honest. The girl did not believe him. Everyone said no at first. His scanner beeped softly, warning him of movement outside the shelter. Patrols. Searching. Time was running. "I'm a rescue worker," he said. "I help people." "You are human," the girl replied. It was not a question. "Yes." Her eyes filled with tears, but she did not let them fall. "Humans help by killing," she said quietly. That hurt more than she knew. He nodded once, not agreeing, not denying. "I help by staying," he said instead. Behind her, the alien woman made a weak sound, a breath that turned into a painful cough. The girl turned instantly. "Mother," she whispered. She looked back at the human, fear winning now. "She's dying," the girl said. "I can't stop it." The human stood. Very slowly, he took one careful step forward. The girl flinched. He stopped again. "May I look?" he asked. Silence. Then, barely a nod. He moved past her, gentle, careful not to touch her as he entered the room. The woman's injuries were bad. Shrapnel burns. Internal damage. Alien medicine packs lay open nearby, empty. Used. Failed. "They didn't work," the girl said. "Nothing works." The human knelt beside the woman. He did not use alien tools. He reached for his own kit. Simple. Old. Human. Bandages. Injectors. Manual scanners. The girl watched closely. "Why are you helping?" she asked. He did not look up. Because someone should have helped sooner. Outside, a loud metallic sound echoed. Boots. Voices. The search was getting closer. His communicator crackled. "Unit 7. Report. Evac window closing." He ignored it. The girl heard the sound too. "They're coming back," she said. panic rising. Please, please don't let them take her. The human stood and turned to the door. Then he did something the girl did not expect. He placed himself between the room and the corridor. Like a wall, his weapon came up, not pointed at the child, not at the mother, but at the empty hole beyond. He looked back once. You stay with her, he said, no matter what. Her eyes widened. You'll die, she said. Maybe, he answered. Outside, shadows moved. The lights flickered again. The girl held her mother's hand with one hand. With the other, she reached out and grabbed the human sleeve. Just for a second. Don't go, she whispered. He did not. And somewhere deep in the dark shelter, as enemies drew closer, the war paused. Just long enough for a single human choice to matter. The footsteps outside grew louder. Metal boots. Heavy. Careful. The human did not move. He stood in the doorway like a shield, his back to the small room, his eyes locked on the dark corridor. His weapon was ready, but his finger was calm. He did not shake. He did not rush. Behind him, the alien girl knelt beside her mother. Mother, she whispered again. The woman's eyes fluttered open for a moment. They were dull, filled with pain, but still aware. She looked past her daughter and saw the human shape standing there. Her body tensed. Go, she said weakly. Take my child and run. The girl shook her head hard. I won't leave you. The human heard every word. She can't run, the girl said, her voice breaking as she looked at him. She hasn't stood up since yesterday. The human turned slightly, enough so they could see his face. Then we don't run, he said. That answer stunned both of them. The mother coughed, a dark stain touching her lips. You should leave, she said. Humans are hunted here. So are you, he replied. He knelt again, this time closer to the woman. Your injuries are bad, he said simply, but not finished. The girl looked at his hands as he worked. They were steady, gentle, not like the armored soldiers she remembered. He cleaned the wound slowly, carefully, even when the woman cried out in pain. Each sound made the girl flinch, but the human never rushed, never forced. Why are you doing this? The mother asked, her voice thin. Because you're alive, he answered. Outside, a voice echoed down the corridor. Check every room. The girl froze. They are here, she whispered. The human nodded once. He pressed a small device into the girl's hand. If they come in, he said, you hide behind me. The girl stared at him. What if they kill you? Then they won't kill you first. She did not understand that kind of thinking. No one had ever stood in front of her before. The mother watched him closely now. You could say yourself, she said. You owe us nothing. He met her eyes. I owe myself, he said. The voices outside came closer. Light swept across the hall. The human stood and moved back to the doorway again. The corridor filled with shadows. 3 figures appeared. Alien soldiers. Their weapons were raised. There, one of them said, Human. The human did not fire. I am a medic, he said clearly. Liar, another soldier replied. Humans don't heal. The girl felt anger rise in her chest. Fear too. He is helping us, she shouted. The soldiers laughed. The human stepped forward. Leave, he said. There is nothing here for you. One soldier lifted his weapon higher. Then the mother screamed. Not in fear, in pain. Her body convulsed, her breathing turning sharp and fast. The girl cried out. The human turned instantly, dropping to his knees beside her again. She's crashing, he muttered. He opened his kit and pulled out a small injector. The soldiers hesitated, confused. What are you doing? One demanded. Saving her, the human said without looking up. He injected the medicine. Human medicine. Not meant for alien bodies. The girl held her breath. Seconds passed. The mother's breathing slowed. Her eyes focused. The pain eased. The soldiers stared in shock. That should not work, one said. The human stood again. It does, he replied. Something changed then. Not trust, but doubt. The soldiers lowered their weapons just a little. Orders say no survivors, the leader said. The human did not argue. He simply stood there. The girl stepped beside him. She was still shaking, but she stood. "She is my mother," the girl said. "If you hurt her, you will hurt me too." The soldiers looked at each other. Children made things complicated. An alarm sounded outside. "Retreat!" A voice shouted over comms. "New human units incoming." The soldiers backed away, not running, but not fighting either. When they were gone, the shelter fell silent again. The girl collapsed to her knees, sobbing now. The fear finally escaped her. The human lowered his weapon. The mother exhaled slowly. "You stayed?" she whispered. "Yes," he said. The girl looked up at him, tears on her face. "You didn't leave," she said, like she was still testing the idea. He shook his head. "No." She moved closer, unsure, then sat beside him. For the first time, she touched his hand. It was warm. Human. Outside, engines roared in the distance. Help was coming. But inside the broken shelter, something more important had already arrived. Hope. The girl did not sleep. She sat very still beside her mother, watching the human. He moved quietly through the small room, checking tools, cleaning his hands, listening to the weak rhythm of her mother's breathing. He did not speak much now. He did not need to. The shelter was calm again, but it did not feel safe. Not yet. The girl's eyes followed every move he made. She noticed things she had never seen before. How he paused before touching her mother, like he was asking without words. How his hands were rough, scarred, but careful. How he kept looking at the doorway, even while working. He was afraid. That surprised her. She had always believed humans did not feel fear. Only anger. Only hunger for war. But she saw it now, clear as light. He was afraid. Still, he stayed. Her mother stirred softly. The girl leaned closer. "Mother." "I'm here," the woman whispered. Her eyes opened slowly and found the human again. "He saved you," the girl said. The mother studied him in silence. "Why?" she asked. The human answered without looking up. "Because leaving was worse." The girl thought about that. Leaving was worse. Outside, distant sounds echoed through the broken city. Engines. Voices. The war was not over. It never was. The humans communicated to Buzz again. "Unit 7, a voice said, you missed extraction." "I know," he replied. "You're surrounded by hostile forces." "Yes." A pause. "Why are you still there?" The human looked at the girl. She met his eyes. "They needed me," he said. Silence followed. Then the channel went dead. The girl's heart beat faster. "You stayed for us," she said. "Yes." She did not understand why that word felt so heavy. A sudden crash sounded outside the shelter. The human moved instantly, stepping in front of them again. "Stay low," he said. The girl pulled the thin blanket higher around her mother. Through a crack in the wall, she saw movement. Shadows slipping past. Not soldiers this time. Scavengers. They were worse. The human waited. One shadow stepped too close. He moved fast. Not loud. Not wild. Controlled. The girl watched as he disarmed the intruder with quick hands and strength she did not know a single body could hold. He did not kill. He pushed the scavenger away, hard enough to end the threat. The shadow ran. The girl's mouth fell open. Not because of the strength, but because of the choice. He could have killed. He didn't. When the danger passed, he came back inside. "You okay?" he asked the girl. She nodded. Her voice was quiet when she spoke. "You're not like the others." He sighed. "Some of us try." Her mother watched him closely. "You are risking your life for strangers," she said. "Why?" The human paused. Then he answered slowly. "Because once, someone didn't risk there for me." The girl felt something twist inside her chest. She did not know what that feeling was, but she knew it mattered. Time passed. The human worked again on the mother, adjusting medicine, checking her pulse. The girl handed him tools without being asked. She was learning. She liked that. Outside, the sounds of battle grew farther away. The city was changing. The girl leaned against the wall, tired now. "Will they come back?" she asked. "Yes," the human said. "But not alone." She looked up at him. Will you leave when they come? He thought about it. I don't know, he said honestly. That answer scared her more than a lie would have. She stood and walked closer to him, very slowly, like she was approaching a wild creature. Then, she said, searching for words, stay until my mother can stand. He nodded. I can do that. Her mother smiled weakly. You have given my child hope, the woman said. That is dangerous. The human smiled just a little. So is war. The girl watched his face. It was tired, older than it looked. She realized something then. He was not a hero. He was a man choosing to be one. Alarms sounded again, but this time they were different. Friendly. Human ships. The human looked outside and exhaled slowly. Help's here, he said. The girl's heart jumped, but fear followed close behind. If help came, would he go? She reached out and held his arm. Don't disappear, she said quietly. He looked at her small hand gripping his sleeve. I won't, he promised. And for the first time since the war began, the girl believed a human promise, because she had watched everything. The shelter felt smaller as time passed, not because the walls moved, but because the truth was getting closer. The human finished checking the medical readings and sat back on his heels. The alien mother was breathing more evenly now, but her skin still carried the dull color of someone who had come very close to death. The girl stayed beside her, holding her hand. Outside, the sound of engines faded. Human ships had landed farther away. Reinforcements were spreading through the ruined city. It should have felt safe. It did not. The mother opened her eyes again. This time, she stayed awake. You should go, she said to the human. He looked at her. You're not stable yet. That's not why, she replied. The girl frowned. Mother. The woman looked at her daughter, then back at the human. They did not attack us by accident, she said. The human stiffened. What do you mean? He asked. The woman took a slow breath. Each word seemed to cost her strength. Years ago, she said, before this war spread everywhere, I worked near the border stations. The girl had never heard this story. The human listened carefully. I saw human prisoners, the woman continued. Wounded, starving, forgotten. The girl's eyes widened. You never told me, she whispered. I wanted you to sleep at night, the mother said softly. She turned her gaze back to the human. I helped them, she said. I broke rules. I gave food, medicine, escape pods. The human said nothing. I believed mercy mattered more than orders, the woman continued. For that, I was marked. The room felt colder. The soldiers who attacked us, she said, they were not searching randomly. They were sent. The girl felt fear rise again. They came because of you, she asked. The mother nodded. I tried to run, she said, but my body failed before my past did. The human slowly stood. You save humans, he said. Yes. And now humans are saving you, he replied. She smiled faintly. The universe's strange balance. The girl looked between them. So, they hurt you because you helped others, she asked. Yes, her mother said. Some see kindness as betrayal. The girl clenched her fists. That's stupid, she said. The human almost laughed. Almost. A sharp pain crossed her mother's face. She gasped. The human was beside her instantly. Her readings dropped. She's bleeding again, he said. The girl panicked. You said she was getting better. She was, he answered, but her body is tired. He reached for another injector. The mother grabbed his wrist weakly. No, she whispered. He paused. This will push your system, he said. It might keep you alive. And it might kill me, she replied. The girl's eyes filled with tears. Don't say that, she begged. The mother turned her head to her daughter. If I don't wake again, she said, you must remember this. The girl shook her head. No, you must, the mother said firmly. Humans are not one thing. Neither are we. She looked at the human again. They will not stop, she said, even if you call your people. The human nodded slowly. I know. A message crackled through his communicator. Unit 7, a voice said, Enemy forces regrouping. Extraction advised immediately. He did not answer. The girl stared at him. "You're leaving?" she asked. He looked at her. "Not yet," he said. The mother smiled faintly. "You are making an enemy of many," she said. He met her gaze. "I already have enemies," he replied. "I just choose who I stand with." The girl felt something change inside her. The injector hissed softly as a human used it. The mother cried out, then went still. For one terrible moment, there was no breath. The girl screamed, "Mother!" Then, air, a shallow breath. Then another. The human exhaled slowly. "She's alive," he said. The girl collapsed against him, sobbing. "She's alive," she repeated. The human rested a hand on her shoulder. Awkward, careful. Outside, distant explosions echoed. The war was moving again. The human stood and checked his weapon. The girl looked up at him. Fear and trust mixed together. "They'll come back," she said. "Yes," he answered. "Will you still stay?" she asked. He looked at the mother, then at the child, then at the door. "Yes," he said, because now, this was no longer just rescue. It was a promise. And promises, once made, could change the fate of worlds. The sky outside the shelter burned red, not from fire alone, but from warning lights cutting through smoke and dust. Human dropships hovered above the ruined city like steel birds, loud and impatient. Extraction had begun. The human stood near the doorway, listening to the sounds of battle moving closer again. His communicator buzzed nonstop. "Unit 7, final call." The voice said, "This is your last window. Move now or you're on your own." He did not answer. Behind him, the alien girl held her mother's hand. The woman's breathing was shallow again. Stable, but fragile. One shock away from death. The girl looked up at the human. "They are telling you to leave," she said. "Yes," he replied. Her grip tightened. "You won't come back if you go," she said. It was not fear. It was understanding. He did not lie. "No," he said. The girl swallowed hard. The mother opened her eyes. "Take her," the woman whispered. "Put her on your ship." The human turned. "There is no space," he said quietly. "They are pulling out wounded soldiers first." The girl shook her head. "No," she said. "I won't go without her." The mother forced herself to speak again. "You must," she said. "You can still live." The girl cried out, "I don't want to live alone." The words cut deep. The human stepped closer. He knelt in front of them. "If I go," he said, "they will bomb this area to stop pursuit." The girl froze. "My mother can't move," she whispered. "I know," he said. Outside, heavy fire shook the ground. The war was returning fast. The communicator buzzed again, louder now. "Unit 7, confirm movement." The human looked down at his hands. Scarred, tired, human. He stood. Then he reached up and turned the communicator off. Silence. The girl stared at him. "What did you do?" she asked. "I chose," he said. He removed his helmet and set it aside. He unclipped his emergency beacon. He placed it on the floor. The girl's eyes widened. "You're not leaving," she said. "No," he replied. The mother tried to speak, panic rising. "You can't." "I can," he said gently. "And I will." He began opening his medical kit again. "What are you doing?" the girl asked. "I'm going to keep her alive," he said, "even if it cost me." The mother looked at him in shock. "You would die for strangers." "No," he replied. "I'll live for you." Outside, a massive explosion rocked the shelter. Debris fell from the ceiling. The girl screamed. The human moved instantly, shielding both of them with his body. Dust filled the room. When it cleared, he was still standing, breathing hard. "You're crazy," the girl whispered. He smiled faintly. "Yes." Footsteps approached again. Heavier, faster, not scavengers. Soldiers. The human grabbed his weapon and moved back to the doorway. "Stay behind me," he said. The girl did not argue. Alien troops entered the corridor, weapons raised. "There," one shouted. "Human target confirmed." The human fired first. Precise. Controlled. He did not advance. He held ground. Each shot was chosen. Each movement protected the room behind him. The girl watched everything. She saw blood. She saw fear. She saw something else too. Purpose. One soldier broke through and rushed forward. The human met him head-on. They crashed into the wall. The human took a hit to the side. Pain burned through him. He stayed upright. He pushed the soldier back and disarmed him. The soldier fled. The corridor fell quiet again. The human leaned against the wall, breathing hard. Blood soaked through his armor. The girl ran to him. "You're hurt," she cried. "I know," he said. He slid down to one knee. The mother watched, eyes wide with horror. "You shouldn't have stayed," she whispered. He looked at her. "If I didn't," he said, "your daughter would remember humans as monsters forever." The girl felt her chest tighten. She knelt beside him and pressed her small hands against his wound, trying to stop the bleeding. "I don't think you're a monster," she said fiercely. He smiled. That made the pain worth it. Outside, a new sound filled the air. Different engines. Slower. Heavier. The human looked up. Those were not enemy ships. Those were diplomatic cruisers. Ceasefire class. His communicator suddenly turned back on. Unit 7, a new voice said, "Calm. Serious. Stand down. This area is now under protection." The alien soldiers retreated. The war paused again. The human exhaled and closed his eyes for a moment. He had chosen, and the galaxy had noticed. The girl held his hand tightly. "You stayed," she said. "Yes," he answered. And this time, the universe would never forget that choice. The ceasefire ships hovered above the city like silent judges. Their lights were white, not red, calm, not threatening. Inside the shelter, the human sat against the wall, his breathing slow and painful. Blood still soaked part of his armor, but he was alive. Barely. The alien girl stayed beside him, holding his hand with both of hers. "They said it's protected now," she whispered, like she was afraid the words might break. "Yes," the human said. "For now." The alien mother watched from the floor, her eyes full of fear and awe. "You stopped the battle," she said weakly. He shook his head. "No, I delayed it." Outside, armored figures approached again. But this time, they did not raise their weapons. They were mixed. Human officers, alien guards, neutral envoys. That alone was unheard of. A tall alien commander stepped into the doorway. His uniform carried marks of high rank. His eyes moved from the wounded woman to the child and finally to the human on the floor. "So," the commander said, "you are the one who refused extraction." The human did not stand. "Yes," he said. "You disobeyed orders," the commander continued. "Yes." "You engaged enemy forces alone." "Yes." The commander paused. "You protected alien civilians," he said slowly. "Yes." Silence filled the room. The girl felt her heart beat faster. She stepped forward before she could stop herself. "He saved my mother," she said. "He stayed when everyone else ran." Several officers looked at her in surprise. The human gently touched her arm. "It's okay," he said. The commander studied the girl, then the mother. "Your injuries match records," the commander said. "You were marked for punishment." The mother nodded weakly. "For helping prisoners," she said. Murmurs spread among the officers. A human officer stepped forward. "That information is already spreading," she said. "Civilians, soldiers, even border world are talking." The human frowned. "Talking about what?" he asked. The officer looked at him. "About you." Screens flickered to life outside the shelter. News feeds, emergency broadcasts, raw combat footage. A single image repeated again and again. A human standing alone in a ruined doorway, protecting an alien child. Humans abandoning extraction to defend alien civilians, a voice reported. A single soldier refused orders to save a dying mother. Is this the true face of humanity? The girl stayed at the screen. "That's you," she whispered. The human looked away. "I didn't do it for that," he said. "We know," the officer replied. "That's why it matters." Across the city, alien troops hesitated. Orders came. Counter-orders followed. No one wanted to be the one who fired first now. On distant worlds, people watched. Some saw weakness. Others saw courage. The alien commander turned back to the human. "You have made this conflict difficult," he said. The human smiled faintly. "I get that a lot." The commander did not smile. "Your people are demanding accountability," he said. "And so are mine." The girl felt fear rise again. "Are you going to take him?" she asked. The commander looked at her. "No," he said. "We are going to protect him." The girl blinked. "Protect him?" The commander nodded. "Because killing him now would tell the galaxy that mercy is a crime." The mother closed her eyes, tears slipping free. "I always believed kindness mattered," she whispered. The human looked at her. "It does," he said. Medical teams arrived soon after. Real teams. Advanced tools. Both human and alien. They stabilized the mother properly this time. They treated the human's wounds too. As they worked, the girl never let go of his hand. "Are they going to make you leave?" she asked. "Not today," he said. She nodded, satisfied. Outside the shelter, soldiers lowered their weapons. Some even removed their helmets. The war did not end. But it slowed. And sometimes that was enough to change everything. The human was placed on a stretcher. As they carried him out, he saw crowds gathering beyond the barricades. Aliens, humans, mixed together, watching, not cheering, thinking. The girl walked beside him, small but proud. "You're famous now," she said. He closed his eyes. "I didn't want to be," he replied. She squeezed his hand. "I'm glad you are." Above them, the ceasefire ships remained. The galaxy was watching, and it was learning something dangerous. That humans were not feared because they destroyed worlds. They were feared because sometimes they chose to protect them instead. The war moved on. Wars always did. But the shelter did not disappear from memory. Months passed, then years. The alien girl was no longer small. She grew taller, stronger, her eyes still bright but calmer now. The fear that once lived in them had faded into something else. Understanding. She stood on a wide platform under a clear sky, watching ships come and go. Humans and aliens walked side by side. Not perfectly, not without tension, but together. Her mother stood beside her, alive, not weak anymore. The scars remained, but they were marks of survival now, not of defeat. "His coming today," her mother said. The girl nodded. "I know." She had known since the moment the message arrived. A human transport ship descended slowly, landing with a low hum. The ramp lowered, and there he was. Older, thinner, walking with a slight limp, but alive. The girl did not wait. She ran. People turned to watch as a young alien rushed across the platform and stopped in front of the human. For a moment, they only looked at each other. Then she smiled. "You stayed," she said. He smiled back. "I told you I would." Her mother approached slowly. "You saved us," the woman said. "Both of us." He shook his head. "You saved yourselves," he replied. "I just didn't walk away." Around them, others watched in silence. Soldiers, civilians, leaders. The story was known now. The human who refused extraction. The child who stood in front of her mother. The moment the war slowed, the girl looked up at him. "Do you remember what I asked you?" she said. He nodded. "Yes." She took a breath. "I was wrong," she said. "You weren't here to hurt my mother." "No," he replied gently. "You were here to protect us," she said. Her voice carried. People listened. The girl turned to the crowd. "I thought humans were monsters," she said. "That's what I was taught." The human stiffened. "But monsters don't stand in doorways," she continued. "They don't stay when they can escape. They don't bleed for strangers." Silence spread. "You taught me something," she said, turning back to him. "Not with words, with choice." He felt his throat tighten. The mother placed a hand on her daughter's shoulder. "She remembers everything," the woman said. "Every moment." The human nodded. So do I. A representative stepped forward. Your actions change negotiations across 5 systems, she said. Ceasefires, corridors, medical exchanges. The human looked uncomfortable. I didn't plan any of that, he said. That's why it worked, the representative replied. The girl looked thoughtful. Will there be another war? She asked. Yes, the human said honestly. She nodded. Then I want to be ready. Her mother turned sharply. Ready for what? For choosing, the girl said. She looked at the human. When the moment comes, she said, I want to be like you. His eyes widened. No, he said quickly. Be better. She smiled. I will. The sun began to set, painting the sky in soft gold and blue. Ships lifted off in silence. The human turned to leave. Will you come back? The girl asked. He stopped. Yes, he said, if you call. She stepped forward and hugged him. Not tightly, not desperately, just enough. Thank you, she whispered. He closed his eyes for a moment. For staying, she added. As he walked away, the girl watched him go. She remembered the shelter, the darkness, the fear, and the words he had spoken as a child. Are you here to hurt my mother too? Now she understood the answer. Humans were not heroes because they were strong. They were heroes because they stayed. And that was a lesson she would never forget.